In this video, we're going to be talking about minor scale types in music theory and the three types that you can have and that you'll encounter when reading music scores here. So, we have three different main types here for the minor scales, natural, harmonic, and melodic. So we're using an example here of C minor. So we've got C natural minor, C harmonic minor, and C melodic minor. So for the natural minor, you're just going to use the key signature, and the key signature is this part right over here. These three flats, that's the key signature for C minor. So you just be writing all of the notes in. If you're using a key signature, you wouldn't apply any additional accidentals. You just write in all of the notes without raising anything up or down. If you were using accidentals and no key signature, you'd simply use these three accidentals, B flat, E flat, and A flat, as when you're writing in the scale. So for the harmonic minor, though, you'd raise the seventh note by a half step, going up and down. So if you're using a key signature, when you get to the seventh note of the scale, which would be, it would be B in this case, it would be raised to B, you'd raise that a half step. So in your natural minor, you'd have what you'd have there is simply your A flat, and that would raise up. So you'd go up a half step from there, and you'd do it again, going down. So let me actually just write in the notes for the natural and the harmonic here. We're going to start with the natural. So again, here we aren't modifying the notes in any way. We're just going straight up and straight down without changing anything, and all the way back down. So the natural minor scale, when played on a piano, would sound like this. And we're only using those three accidentals right there. We've got the E flat, and we've got the A flat, and we've got the B flat. Those are the only three we added when we played that scale. Okay, so that's the natural minor. So from there, we can use that scale to write the harmonic minor. So we'd be starting off with a C again, going up, D to E, just as normal, until we get to the seventh note. That's 5 notes. Okay, our sixth note, now our seventh note. So we can see that in our natural minor, the seventh note was a B flat. We're going to raise the B flat a half step, which gives us a B natural. So here we have a B natural, and we're going to have to use the natural sign here when indicating this, so we know that's a B natural. Now we also want to raise the seventh note as well, so the sixth and seventh. So really that was the sixth note would have been our A. Up here it was an A flat, so it becomes an A natural. So also we have a natural here, so we have these over there. So this is our harmonic minor scale, then we go up to the C, and we come back down and do the same thing. So here's what it sounds like on a keyboard before we continue. Okay, so we had the A flat there instead of the A, then we went right to the B. So that's the major changed part of the scale there. So we had an A flat. Go ahead and go back so you can see this. We had going up to the A flat there. From there we went to a B natural. So we had that raised seventh note there. Then we went right to the C. And then we do the same thing going back down. There's no bar line here, so we don't need to say that's natural again. And we just go right back down to the C. Okay, and there's our harmonic minor scale. And finally, the melodic. So here we have the same key signature again, but for the melodic, we want to raise the sixth and seventh notes by a half step, but going up only. So this is a bit different here. So we're going to start off from the C as usual. 3 notes. Okay, 5 notes, and then we're at the 6th note here. So the 6th note we want to raise by half step. So normally the 6th note would be an A. That becomes it's going to be an A sharp or B flat instead. So let's go ahead and hear this on the keyboard before we continue. So there we had the G, then we went to the A flat, then the B flat, then the C. Whereas the natural was simply... So we have a bit of a difference there because the A flat. Okay, so what we have instead... There's just an A because the A is already flat there, part of the key signature. Then actually, instead of that, we would have... So this is the melodic. That's the natural. Then for the melodic we have... So we need to naturalize the A, because otherwise that's going to be the natural again. So then we have B. We also want to naturalize that. So we just get B natural. And then we go up to C. And coming down, we want to flatten those notes again, because there's no bar line, because we only want to do this going up. So we have to set the B to flat and the A to flat. And then it's the same all the way back down to the C. Okay, so again, just so you can hear all these 3 scales, here is the C natural minor. And that's actually played 1 octave above how it's written here on this staff. So that was the natural. Now we have the harmonic. And finally, the melodic. Okay, so those are all 3 minor scale types: the natural, the harmonic, and the melodic. Where the harmonic, you raise the 7th note a half step up and down, and the melodic, you raise the 6th and 7th notes a half step up only. Okay, so that was an overview of the minor scale types in music theory.